to welcome all of you present here, members of the executive, members of the legislature, members of independent commissions, our members of the diplomatic corps, and friends. This function is not just a part of the traditions and practices of our public service sector. It has its foundations in the Constitution, which, besides national values and principles of governance, has entire chapters devoted to the public service as well as leadership and integrity. These provisions, alongside other laws enacted under them, when seeking our and receiving public services, define the expectations and entitlement of citizens. For us, they also set the standard we must uphold at all times in our performance, individually and also collectively. It is important for us to understand that in entering the public service, we are under an explicit and implied binding contract with the people of Kenya to perform the tasks and duties entrusted to us and manage resources under our stewardship to a specific minimum standard set both by the law and by the Constitution. It is therefore always a good strategy to establish the document and clear terms and conditions to which we and the citizens of Kenya can make reference in evaluating whether we are doing our jobs as is required of us and providing meaningful value to the people of Kenya. In electing their government, the people express specific expectations and entrust us to deliver fully and also to deliver on time. I am committed to honoring that trust fully, and to do so, I rely on you to equally do your part as set out in your terms of appointment and as demanded by the Constitution, the law of Kenya, and the electorate. Our performance contract with citizens was formalized upon the inauguration of this administration in our commitment under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda for Kenya. This plan embodies our commitment to addressing critical priorities, including reducing the cost of living, managing inflation, taking all steps to create jobs, eradicate hunger, enhancing food production and productivity in general, and expanding the tax base and improving our foreign exchange balances. We also pledged to enhance governance, democracy, and the rule of law, protect rights and freedoms, uphold our national sovereignty, and achieve inclusive economic growth. These are the benchmarks by which Kenyans will assess our success. As we sign the second generation ministerial performance contract for the year 2024-25, let us reflect on our commitments, the ones we made, and the weight of the responsibility that we have on our shoulders. These performance contracts are not mere bureaucratic rituals or ceremonial formalities. They represent firm and solid commitments to implement the inclusive and transformative goals of our plan. I must emphasize, and I encourage you to internalize the strategic pillars of this agenda and their interconnectedness. These pillars demand greater efficiency in current programs and projects and a bold redefinition of our service delivery paradigm. Agriculture, for example, is critical to ensuring food security, empowering farmers, creating an ecosystem of micro, small, and medium enterprise, drive job creation, and also build on our economic growth. Affordable housing, on the other hand, enhances dignity and stimulates not just the construction sector, but the whole manufacturing ecosystem in our country. Universal health coverage fosters a healthy, productive population, making sure that no citizen is left behind. While the digital superhighway and creative economy positions Kenya as a global innovative and innovation hub, enhancing our efficiency and also building on our competitiveness. These pillars define my performance contract with the people, which have been directly executed by me and through cabinet secretaries and accounting officers. We are therefore united under a solemn bond to fulfill these commitments for the benefit of our nation and to make this country a better place for all of us. Performance contracting arises from our recognition of the need for a structured mechanism to transform Kenya into an industrialized middle-income economy with a high quality of life for all our citizens by the year 2030, as envisioned in our Vision 2030. It subjects each of our actions to objective benchmarks to evaluate progress and ensures that the needs and aspirations of the people remain at the center of every effort that we make. Over the years, performance contracting has proven to be a robust accountability framework, ensuring the effective use of public resources to meet constitutional mandates and also to meet citizen expectations. This year's contracts integrate the priorities of the fourth-term medium plan and Vision 2030 and the strategic pillars of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. These plans aim to maximize the impact of scarce resources on Kenyans, particularly those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. A society, ladies and gentlemen, is best judged by how it treats its most vulnerable members. And interventions targeting those at the bottom of the ladder will eventually uplift everyone. By aligning their functions with these commitments, every ministry, department, and agency contributes to a rising tide of inclusive prosperity. The contracts we sign today are action plans for urgent, precise, and efficient execution. I expect each cabinet secretary to take personal responsibility for achieving the targets outlined in their ministry's contracts. There is no room, ladies and gentlemen, for excuse or delay or failure. Accountability must cascade through all levels of ministries, departments, and agencies to individual officers. At the end of the financial year, each cabinet secretary will receive a performance report card reflecting their ministry's achievements. These scorecards will ensure that performance contracting is not seen as a meaningless ritual. This scorecard will carry recognition, rewards, and sanctions which will be applied without fail. Excellence, integrity, efficiency, and consistency will be rewarded, while failure, negligence, waste, and misconduct will promptly invite corrective action. It is important that performance contracting is deployed in ways that raise the levels of engagement and motivation and promote greater conformity with the values and principles of public service. In other words, I fully expect to see continuous improvement in responsiveness, efficiency, and integrity of our officers collectively and individually. To ensure seamless implementation, the National Treasury will disburse available budgetary allocations on time. Lack of funds or delay in their release should not be an excuse for failure to serve citizens. Consequently, our planning, budgeting, and execution functions